everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's me, Steph. I am doing my video this time on my MacBook, and the video camera is just kind of very un HD and fuzzy. So I apologize if I don't look my best, or the camera doesn't look, the video quality isn't the best. But it's a pretty old MacBook. It's like 2011. So, um, as you guys may have not known, but already kind of known, is that I haven't been on here on this channel for about, I guess, 6 years now. So it's been a very long time since I've last spoken to every one of you guys, and it's been a roller coaster of a life. I mean, 6 years is pretty long, and it's been a while since I last spoken to everyone and made a video and things like that. So, to kind of explain, I guess, 6 years in detail, kind of going based on my first video, is that a lot has changed, as you already know, and a lot has gone through my life. I've been through a lot of things in my life, and one of those main things is heartbreak. So I recently got out of I guess a relationship or a thing or whatever it is. I call it a relationship. The guy I was with, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, but um I got out of a I guess a really I got out of my first, I guess, real relationship, my first real heartbreak. And on my previous video I was like a little sad and upset and crying over getting rejected. Um this shit I dealt with this heartbreak wasn't rejection. It was much more deep than that. It was kind of, I was in love with the guy. I was madly in love with him. I wanted to spend my rest of my life with him. I wanted to have a future with him. I wanted to do everything with him, and every plan that I had made in my life was kind of including him. So it was pretty deep. I was deeply in love. And I was also very sexual with him. Like, I guess our relationship very early on was based on sex. Like, we had both had mutually interested ideas about sex and about our fantasies, I guess. Like, I was like 17, he was 17. We both had like these different types of fantasies. And our fantasies kind of aligned in a way. So we kind of worked our way together through that. And it was kind of I was kind of exploring myself. It was kind of that time period where I was just like, I wanted to, he was attractive. I had a crush on him since the beginning of high school, since I saw him in high school. And I kind of was like, why not? Why not? So I saw an opportunity my sophomore year, ending of my sophomore year, where he wasn't really in a relationship with the girl anymore. She had moved away. And I kind of saw it as a moment where I was just like, not really, I didn't really think of it as that, but more so a moment where an attractive guy is exploring himself, and he seems to be very open about who he's exploring himself with. So I decided to take that opportunity, and got a mutual friend, kind of got us together, sort of started talking, yada yada yada. But long story short, it was a year, and we kind of fell. I guess we fell for each other. I don't know how deep he fell, but I felt pretty deep. But I fell deep in love with him, and I finally found somebody who loved me for who I was, and not just based on what I did. And that to me was a very big moment in my life. So when that all came to be, it kind of came to a moment where I kind of was like, yay. And then, he's a senior and he was leaving, so he was going to college. And that's what he did. He went to college. And he met somebody in college in the beginning of his year, I guess. And I was very oblivious to it all. Till he kind of broke up with me, sort of. He said he wanted to take a break. And that's just kind of what he did. And after he took that break, he started to date a girl, and started to get involved with a girl on his college campus, and he started to actually have something with her. And then our relationship morphed into just more sexual. It just started to become, I'm still kind of healing from it all, so if I start to tear up, please please just know that it's just this is very recent. But I feel like it's very important for my followers my followers and subscribers to know what's going on in my first heartbreak and stuff. But it was very hard. So anyway, to continue, it was a year of us being long distance. I, on the receiving end, thought we were still a couple, thought we were still in a relationship, and thought that we were together in some ways. And it turns out he was just dating her, and that their relationship was going on, and they didn't really have a starting point to their relationship, and they just kind of started to just kind of magicalize. And I started to become on a receiving end as being sexual. Like he started to become very sexual with me, and it became very sexually minded. And me being who I didn't really, I saw the shift in it all, but I kind of still felt that it was kind of reasonable, seeing that he's in college and he's stressed. So I kind of like tried to put it off, but it became that mainly. But it was just like mainly just that. And it didn't really have anything more than that. It didn't really have any more depth. And that went on for a year, but I thought we were kind of together. You know, we kind of talked a lot about a lot of different things, and I thought he really cared about me, you know, that type of thing. And came into like kind of going to like when I started to apply for college, he was very supportive, and he did all those type of things that you would say that, you know, and he would get very angry with me and very upset with me over simple things too, like wanting to call him, wanting to just FaceTime him, things like that. He would get very, very like angry, not angry, but more so annoyed with. And that kind of was a first red flag that I kind of should have realized. And then he would get angry with me when he wouldn't text back fast enough and things like that. And that was just, and then the final thing was that, like, when I finally applied to college and I kind of got my results back and all that, and finally got my acceptances and my declines and, you know, this whatever, but whatever I want to say, um I realized that, you know, I'm not going to be able to a school. So what had happened was that, you know, I decided to go to that school, and he seemed very supportive about it all. He seemed very cool about it. And then little did I know was that he was dating this girl this whole entire time. And so one day, you know, he decided to break off with me again. Like he's been doing this a couple times. And he decided to do it again. It was like during the summer. I was working, and I was like telling him, "Hey, it's our anniversary," you know, that type of thing. I graduated from high school. And he decided to just break it off with me. And it was very abrupt, and it was very quick, and let me remind you, it was a couple days after we had gotten back in touch, and we got sexual again. And I myself was just like, you know, I was always exhausted because he was always like want much of me, but it didn't matter to me because I was in love with him at the time. And, you know, I was just like, sure, you know, like, yeah, baby, yeah, sure, sure, sure. But little did I know that he was using the fuck out of you, but I didn't know that at the time. But now I know. But after that, he broke up with me abruptly, didn't give me an explanation, just kind of left. And then that left me devastated. I was like broke. I was like devastated. I didn't understand why. He did made me do all these things, and then just broke off with me and then left. And then he tried to get in contact with me through Facebook, through some friends, and I realized then that he was trying to reach out to me because he felt bad. So I got into a 2 month relationship, y'all. I got into a rebound when I got into college. I met this guy. Turned out to be a fucking worst choice ever made. Definitely worst choice ever made in terms of dating. But nevertheless, it was bad. But not as bad as this guy. But anyway, as a guy I'm dealing with, that I dealt with in the past. But Anyway, I got out of the 2 month relationship, kind of felt unwanted, kind of felt really like failed in a way, and I wanted a sense of familiarity. So I went back to him, I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, it's me. I moved on, but we can still be friends and we can still just, still stay in contact with one another and such." And he immediately was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I'm talking to you. I'm not gonna hear back from you again." Yada yada yada. I was like, "Yeah, that's fine," but I moved on. And he got really sexual with me immediately, and he started to really become very pushy about it. Not like forcing it, but kind of like his like he kind of put out this facade. Like his intentions weren't very up there clear to me at the point. It kind of seemed very romantic and very sweet to me, and then it just became, again, sorry you guys, I'm picking my nose, ill, I know, but it became very sexual very quickly. And I didn't realize that, and I was just like, okay, I just let it happen, and it happened. And then and then he told me all these things, and he felt good, and then he just kind of was like, a couple of days later into talking, he kind of was just like, okay, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And then not really like that, but kind of like, I don't want to talk romantically to you anymore. And he left. And I was again upset and devastated. I was crying very badly and I felt hurt. Very much hurt. And then going back into it, I was just like very, very emotionally drained at those couple of days. It was very hard. And my mind was very clearly not there and I couldn't think and I had all these thoughts screaming. And he did something really pretty fucking shitty and fucked up. And my friends were all telling me before I even got in contact with him, don't fucking talk to this guy. But, me being blindly in love, I kind of fell for his tricks again. And I went back to it and he left me again and I got really pissed. So I was like always texting him at 3 a.m. at night, texting him, well, tossing and turning, wondering what the fuck happened, yada yada yada. Because he said all these sweet things to me and then he just left and I didn't understand what was going on. And then he just kind of came out of the darkness and then he tells me, hey, the reason why I really got in contact with you is because it was sex. It was other things, but mainly just sex. And I was just like, at that point in time, I kind of was like done with him, but I kind of was just like also like, I also too always wanted sex, but it's like I always wanted friendship too. So I was just like, sure, we can explore our sexual self together again. That would be nice and that would be fun. And we did that, and he kind of stops, and a couple days later, he stops and just says to me, like, 5 days later, like, hey, I don't want you, and that, he tells me that I feel guilty for talking to you, and that he wants to continue things with his girlfriend, and that he broke her trust, and that I was just for sex, and that our relationship is a dead end, and that he didn't want to continue talking to me anymore, and I that he didn't want to continue talking to me and continue doing what we're doing, and that he doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. And that to me was just like, wow, it's just like, wow. And I kind of got really emotional and sad because it's just like, it's just, he's like, our relationship was never real and that we weren't a thing. And that to me hurt because this whole time, I was thinking we were something and you feel like I was nothing. But it just hurts to know that someone you actually cared about, someone that you thought was that guy, thought that was that one guy in the whole entire world that you could fucking fuck, and he saw you for who you were, not just some fucking minuscule monkey. And he didn't. And that to me just feels like a betrayal of trust. And the worst part about it is, he wasn't focusing on how I was feeling at that time. He didn't focus he didn't focus at all about what was going on in my heart here. He mainly just focused on her and about his guilt and how he was feeling and how it was affecting him. Not anything about what was going on with me and how this all could have affected me